Well, on the first one, Dr. Bati, that people are dissolving into APC. I mean, my response is simple. Many of those going into APC are doing so out of selfish interests. They are not doing so out of the overriding interests of their constituents or the citizens of Nigeria. And largely, it's also a reflection of the fact that there are no alternative in terms of availability of parties, everybody, most of those, including governors, which is the shocking part for me. For me, when you see a governor decamping going to APC simply because he wants to guarantee second term, my simple analogy is that that person may be first unqualified to be holding such a position, because once you are a governor, the Constitution has guaranteed you certain privileges which for life you will continue to enjoy, and those things were given largely because so that you now concentrate in terms of service delivery. You provide selfless service without fear of losing anything, But here we are with people who clearly don't merit that kind of consideration which the Constitution of the Federal Republic has provided. Now, to your second question about the scorecard of President Tinubu and APC government for 2 years, I mean, it's predictable if anybody, based on my even previous writing, nothing has changed from almost 2 months after the coming of Aswaju, when I saw the wrong step. You remember one of the first open letter I wrote to him was disturbing signals, raising alarm about how he is getting it wrong. And subsequently, I made the point that renewed hope had become renewed anger, so much so that people are agitated all over the place, and being an insider, I was there and I have read the Renew Hope document. I campaign on the basis of it. I can say I'm well informed in terms of the content of the Renew Hope promises we have made. Nothing has come close so far to delivering on what we promised Nigerians, which is the disappointing part in terms of my assessment of President Aswaju.
Okay.
I had very high rating of President Aswaju, but to be honest, his performance in the last 2 years has betrayed whatever expectation I had of him.
Okay, on that note.
It is so interesting.
Your electricity, don't vote me back. We have not seen, it's plunked. We have seen collapse of the grid, national grid. Like 2 every month or once every month. And it's not been stable.
The masses were frustrated, were impoverished. We can't wait for 2027 to come.
But funny enough, right now, it's not the masses that are talking about.
No, that's number one.
Yes.
Number two, those that are decamping and cross-carpeting, we've never had it this bad before.
Yeah.
That's to tell you that something is fishy. Everybody is saying, oh, this government is not doing well. And we have our so-called leaders rushing with so much haste to align with them. A system that is a total collapse. A system that has taken us backward. It has made it so obvious that our political leaders who are cross-carpeting are only cross-carpeting for one thing, personal interest.
Tinubu said, if I don't give you electricity, don't vote me back.
In Zamfara State that was declared wanted. The day he came outside to collect an award, he was surrounded by policemen, and the local government chairman was seated there in the occasion, a man that had been declared wanted by the Nigerian army and by the Nigerian police. That is how this country is functioning. Matter of fact, there's a bandit leader in Zamfara State that was declared wanted. summit was shocked because the theme of the summit is renewed hope agenda. And in my own thinking, which I stand to be corrected if I'm wrong, this would have been a reflection of what our administration has done in the past 2 years vis-a-vis promises made to Nigerians. How these policies were executed, what are the shortfalls, what is the impact to Nigerians, how did we not get it right in the event there are mistakes, what can we do to correct it. That being said, it's supposed to be an interactive session between the executive, the legislative, and
Party stakeholders.
party stakeholders that were invited, because I saw my party members from my state, meaning some of them came all the way from Adamawa State, 800 kilometers, to witness this occasion. And I expected that interactive session to have taken place, where ministers will come and give their scorecards. The same thing with the legislative arm, and likewise governors, executives should also give their scorecards. But there is a saying, Talba, and that day is one of the days I have confirmed the saying that there is no bad leader but bad disciples. Hope Uzodimma, who is the chairman of the Progressive Forum, I was not happy with him, because when he stood up, he started with the whole endorsement thing. I was thinking
even at the event?
At the event, yes.
Right, okay.
He started with the endorsement thing, followed by Ubasani, who is the Progressive chairman of the Northern Governors Forum. Now, if Hope Uzodimma has started well, and that is why people are saying the danger of putting up a bad precedent. If Hope Uzodimma had come and said, okay, look, Mr. President, in our 2 years of office, in line with your renewed hope agenda, this is the statistics of us as governors, 22 of us. This is what we are able to achieve. This is the number of people who were able to lift up poverty. They are now above poverty line. This is how we have done well in the areas of agriculture, in education, in health sector, in industrialization, in transportation. If he can give a summary of these statistics to the president, to the people, I will be there. Though my state is not APC, but of course I will be happy that these are the 22 governors, and this is how they have supported the renewal agenda. But nothing of such from the governor. The same thing with, I don't know, maybe because he has nothing to offer. I just don't get it. But the same thing with Ubasani, who came, it was endorsement. But you can see from Dave Umahi, and it is advised as a leader to always have people like Dave Umahi, the Minister of Works, as your ministers, or people to work with, because he came with figures. He came with statistics. We have inherited this and that. We have taken this number of projects. We have executed this. This is ready in this area, was done by this company, ready for commissioning now. This will be ready in, this is statistics, Mr. Talba. And this is what Nigerians want to see. For example, he made mention of a project in my state, the Jimeta Bridge. And I'm aware that it's been completed, ready for commissioning. These are facts. But the governors has no fact to present. And this brings us to the issue that is bedeviling this country anytime that governors are mostly our problems, because I have not seen any statistics from any governor that this is how he has helped the president.
This is how I would like us to anchor the fear and the danger in what is happening. Opposition politics. You can't have one party railroad itself into prominence and into governance, and in such a way that every voice of dissent will be shut down and opposition will be killed. It's dangerous for our democracy. The alliances, the merger or the coalition that we're seeing, is there any hope for it? There's no hope. Really, yes. Why? Two reasons. Number one would have expected by now, 2 years to the end of this current 4-year tenure of a Southern president, that any coalition that wants to challenge a Southern president should be coalescing around a Southern aspirant that is popular enough from the South, like can be supported from the North. As we speak, Atiku Abubakar is still in this race. Peter Obi is in the race, and others. So there's no clear-cut direction as to where their candidate is going to come from. That is another minus. And that is why you are seeing a steady, the campaign, erosion from the PDP into the APC. Secondly, and most importantly, what is the alternative in terms of ideological clarity, in terms of pragmatic economic solutions to the problems Nigerians are facing today, in terms of our existential security threats? What have they been able to itemize in the course of opposing the current administration by way of alternative solutions to our problems? It is zero. So it's a double jeopardy for the Nigerian people and democracy, not because of the ruling party, not because of the president, because of the failure of opposition.
It's interesting.
Again, Peter Obi is a very, very formidable politician now. He has
What makes him formidable?
It's because, I was going there, it's because of the passionate followers that he has. It's because of the reach.
Can we say he's the Buhari of the Southeast of sorts?
Yes, he's a Buhari.
Because they say that, okay,
exactly.
Buhari, he had his fanatic 12 million votes.
Exactly.
That come rain, come shine,
exactly.
They are there for him.
Exactly. So the sentiment in Southeast, is suggesting a Peter Obi presidency. Don't forget, Peter Obi won Lagos in 2023. I think he won Benue.
With Tinubu on the ballot.
With Tinubu on the ballot.
He defeated him.
He defeated the Lagosian, the ex-governor of Lagos, called Bola Tinubu. And you know what he scored in Plateau and in Benue. So Peter Obi had basically, inherited that Zikist political followership. And I tell you that even in the North now, a lot of people, especially young people, especially educated people, are saying that it's time for a Southeastern president. And they see hope and promise in Peter Obi.
As a political analyst, Najaku.
That's why his presence at this consultative group, even going to the extent of delivering
a keynote address.
Yes, a keynote address is something worldwide.
And that's what I want to ask. How significant is that? What message are these people of northern extraction are sending to Tinubu and the APC?
Very good question. I think the message to Tinubu is that minus him and his cabal, the entire country is against him. The northern politicians, the northern technocrats, and all those who gathered at Continental Hotel today understand something. Even though Peter Obi, like the politician he is, he said the North can change Nigeria.
Despite the endorsement, last week it was actually, pottery of endorsement by, is it the Northwest, is it the whole of the National Assembly? We saw endorsement upon endorsement.
I will make this point, then come to those endorsements.
Okay.
So I'm saying that the message at the consultative group is that the North and the Southeast are about to have another handshake.
Across the Niger.
Yes, and if you remember decades ago, there was, there were alliances. In fact, fusion, if you like, between the Southeast and the North, whether it was during Tafawa Balewa or it was during
I am calculating not in terms of the next election. That's no trouble. 68, no trouble. I am calculating in terms of the next generation, in terms of the next 100 years, in terms of eternity. And believe you me, the next 1,000 years, we will be here. I won't be here, but people like me and like my friends here tonight will be here. Recognizable, identifiable. 1,000 years from hence. And it is people who calculate and think in those terms that deserve to survive. And that's why I came tonight. 10 years, but I have not forgotten. I owe them a debt. 10 years ago, I might have lost the election. The Labour Front might have persecuted them and they would have been in trouble. But they say, this is good man, good friend, support him. Well, I say to them, they are my good friends, I always support them. And I say to all those who are my friends, I never forget. Just as I say to those who are my enemies, I sometimes forgive, but seldom forget. Good night.
2027. But take a closer look and you'll find gaping cracks in the ranks of the opposition amid all the talk about new strategic partnerships. The presence of both Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi, for instance, whose collective vote count in 2023 was almost double that of President Tinubu, has given them a psychological boost, though in reality many details remain to be agreed, such as whether Mr. Obi is laying his political stock with the new coalition or with his old, rather disunited Labour Party, and which of the two men will lead the opposition charge in 2027. Meanwhile, as more opposition politicians defect to the APC, steadily surrendering to the power of the ruling party, what do all these deals and all this confusion mean for the obedient movement, which has so far remained resolute in its support for Peter Obi? Does anyone actually know what's going on, or are they just tinkering around the edges? Well, for more on this, I'm joined in the studio by the interim national coordinator of the obedient movement worldwide, Dr. Yunusa Tanko. Great to see you again.
Thank you very much for having me, Charles. Good evening, Nigerians.
It feels like we had to drag you in here kicking and screaming.
Well, we are on the streets, actually.
Well, you're a busy man,
yes.
So we appreciate your being here.
Thank you so much.
Let's be clear and free from ambiguity on this issue of Peter Obi saying he'll contest the 2027 presidential election on the Labour Party platform, despite the fact that he's in talks with the promoters of this opposition national coalition that aims to collectively challenge the APC in 2027. Is this announcement all about political posturing as the different titans try to find their place within the new opposition coalition, or does it signal an irrevocable position that Mr. Obi has now taken as far as the race in 2027 is concerned?
Well, in politics, you either go on an alliance or coalition with like-minded persons, people who believe in what you are doing. And you either go with your party or you go alone. At the moment now, what you are seeing, individuals who believe in themselves, who believe that Nigeria needs to be rescued, And this rescue is hung on 5 points, which Mr. Peter Obi is serious about. The issue of hunger, the issue of security, the issue of education, the issue of economy, and the issue of ensuring that even in the international community, you are being viewed in the right direction. All of these are things that Mr. Peter Obi has been doing on a consistent level. You could see his movement. In fact, I wonder his nomadic nature. As he moves, sometimes you see him in Cambridge, you see him in Harvard, and then you are seeing him back in Abuja. You see him in Rome, and you see him on the streets, not flying, driving on the streets, to care about the people. He goes to Kaduna, Zamfara, Borno states, where there are issues that affect the common person on the streets. That's where you find him. And so he said, if there's going to be any coalition, especially what affects our people in the northern part of the country, you can all bear me witness. Even when there was in Taraba State, there was killing, massive killing. And these are things that concerns the Nigerian people. As of yesterday night in the evening, he was talking about what's going on. How can they be taxing people when people are in poverty level? How can they be doing this and all? His concern is about the people. So any coalition that's going to channel the energy of Nigerians in taking us out of this particular quagmire is what he's interested in. And he has already found a lot of friends who believe in that particular coalition.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the platform, because he has to have a platform.
That's what I'm saying. Now, for example,
in the middle of having discussions with the National Opposition Coalition, he suddenly tells us that he's going to be competing on the platform of the Labour Party. And it's caused a bit of confusion. So we need clarity on
Charles, if in your home, you have a home, probably you have some dispute, which is normal. Just because you have a dispute, then you go outside and sleep outside. Can't you sleep in your home? You can come back and sleep in your home. So simply what was said was that I'm a Labour Party member, and he confirmed that. If today, at this point in time, there's going to be an election, I will run under Labour Party. Even if you are going to a coalition, you should go with your political party.
Did he say that if there's an election at this point?
Yes, that's what he said.
Because a lot of people are wondering what the main reason is and what the tangible benefit of this announcement
in the context of the
at this stage of the political maneuvering, what the benefit is.
In the context of the way the question was asked, he was asked vividly, you can play the video, and then he just said that I will contest under Labour. That is his party at the moment. So he cannot run away from his party because there is issues. In fact, those are some of the problems that we have in this country. So he said that he's going to run under his party. And it's strengthening him even if he's going to a coalition. And I'm glad they even mentioned some statement on that particular issue recently. So that's just the context in which he's
right. But what is his mindset in this coalition arrangement? I mean, because we need to get a sense of whether or not we're looking at, because a lot of things have been put out there. You know, one of them is that they're all going to metamorphose into a party called the ADC or the SDP or the formation of a brand new party. But either way, it's not going to be the Labour Party, nor is it going to be the PDP. So potentially speaking, he is preparing to metamorphose, to transmogrify into another party.
Before you go anywhere, you must have a backing where you are coming from. And it's coming from the Labour Party.
This brilliant device keeps your home cool in summer, even during heat waves and power outages. It's smaller than a lunchbox, cools any room within 3 minutes, and you...
Very clear. He did not deny that he's in a coalition to save Nigeria and rescue Nigeria. It is very, very clear that this particular government has put democracy in danger. And people are coming out to say, no, we must work together to ensure that we rescue Nigeria from this particular situation.
Yes, I understand.
And that's the fact.
But I'm trying to figure out what the terms of that working together are going to be, as far as Peter Obi, your principle is concerned.
Based on this particular issue that I mentioned, on a constant basis, he has already made it clear that he's not going to be in any coalition that does not talk about the issue of healthcare, education.
Yeah, I'm not talking about
those are the things.
I understand that. And we all know that he's been very forthright and he's been very visible in terms of his opposition sort of work and his attempts to connect with the Nigerian people. What I'm saying is, what shape is his attempt to be part of that coalition going to take? Is he going to leave the Labour Party and become part of a new coalition if he's convinced that that is the vehicle via which they can put up a strident challenge in 2027?
Let me give you an analogy.
Yeah.
When you are going into an alliance or a coalition, you either go with your political party. The political party have not been talking yet, but individuals are talking to themselves. And the reasons why they are talking is very, very clear. And he is going there and say, look, when it comes to that particular period of time that we are going to choose a platform, that discussion will be made. But at this point in time, the discussion is based on the interests of the Nigerian people, which is more interesting to him.
So he's sussing people out and sussing the coalition out to see if they're on the same page with him.
That is the discussion, because there's a mutual understanding and agreement. You can see that he addressed the northern part of the country, large gathering.
Indeed.
Very interesting gathering.
It was.
And
I watched it.
Yes, and then he was able to say, ABC, the situation of Nigeria is gone beyond your expectation. If you measure our interests as regard to issue of agriculture, we could move Nigerians out of poverty. If you measure yourself into the issue, he been to Almajiri schools. You're talking about a Peter Obi who went to Almajiri school, even their toilet is helping them even building their homes where they stay. That is concern for the people. Not only that, he connects with the northern youth. At the moment now, he even helped in supporting some of their entrepreneurial programs. That is the idea of you trying to get people out of poverty. On a continuous basis, it's about the people. It's not about himself. So that makes him different. So anywhere there is a coalition interested in such a position, he is very much interested in it.
But I wonder how confident you are, and he is, that as he goes out to say that at this point he's got the Labour Party as his platform, whether the people in the Labour Party, which is riven with divisions, are actually going to be saying the same thing about
Probably
it.
that is the reason
The
why.
reason I say that, I don't mean to interrupt you,
Okay.
but the reason I say that is because you use the analogy of somebody, even if you're quarreling at home, it's still your home.
Yeah.
You don't want to go and sleep outside, but you don't at the same time want to invite people into your home, because if it's a pretty bad fight, which it has been, and a fight that has gone on for a long time, you're not sure whether you're going to be able to bring people into the house and what kind of reception they're going to get.
You see, on a continuous basis, there are alignment and realignment. And even in political parties, there's always find a way you have an issue and then resolve it. And the resolution of political party can come within certain seconds.
Sell your home fast for all cash. When it comes
well.
It certainly isn't coming within seconds.
It can come within seconds if you agree.
It's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, you can have an issue going on for a long time. When you understand each other, you hear some people I've seen here, some other person who thought that they were on the other side reconciling and then trying to say another different thing. I'm sure you interviewed them before. So it happens.
I suspect that it won't be that easy.
Well,
with the mess the Labour Party is in.
Well, we are not praying for that. And then we are resolute on a continuous basis. You see, we don't want to be seen as if you are too being nomadic. But one thing we have resolved is that we need to work with people.
Right, okay. Well, let's leave the Labour Party aside for 1 minute. How much does it muddy the waters for the opposition national coalition in terms of the alliance that it is trying to build to challenge President Tinubu and the APC in 2027, that they're suddenly hearing from him? I mean, we're not hearing from anybody. We're not hearing from Atiku Abubakar or someone else saying, hey, I'm flying the flag of, you see what I mean? I'm talking about the real prominent people in those places. I mean, doesn't it muddy the waters for the coalition? Because they're going to be thinking, well, what's going on here?
No, somebody
Where
has
does
to
he belong?
strengthen the alliance and discussions. And we have made it very clear. If we happen to be, or he happened to be, the voice of the opposition, which the governor of Bauchi State has alluded to, it's fine. But you need somebody who shall be on a constant basis. Since 2023 general election, there have not been one single politician that have been very, very vociferous and staying constantly on the opposition as Mr. Peter Obi has done. If there's anyone, please show me. The only thing is that even as we speak right now, the way it is going, there's no one single politician or presidential candidate that can tell you that in his region he can give you the en bloc vote from that. Peter Obi is one. So that makes him the lead, most likely the most wanted or needed.
Well, that's an ambitious statement to make, given the fact that you've got a whole slew of political parties in the southeast at the moment.
At the moment now, if you are doing your calculation, you see that Peter Obi has already a block vote from the southeast.
Well, I mean, what we need are statistics. Well, that's the modern way of doing it.
Statistics is very clear.
Anybody can come out and say they've got the block vote. I mean, the PDP can come out and say they've got the block vote.
Probably if Charles now become INEC chairman today and we conduct election, you will see the facts. But anyway, what I'm trying to point out is that he has been on the front burner of opposition. And he has not desist from that. On a continuous basis, not only that, physically, he has moved from issue of probably you see him on social media. No. Physically, he's on ground.
Yeah.
And so therefore...
And I can attest to the fact that I have seen him, and a lot of people have seen him.
And those are the things that are missing in our politics. Always it's about the issue of power. But he's saying, look, it's about the issue of people. The people are the ones that we should be concerned about.
But you know, that issue of the Labour Party, and I don't mean to beat that horse, which is already probably half dead, beat it even further. But that issue of the crisis in the Labour Party is something that dogs Mr. Peter Obi, because a lot of people keep saying over and over, and people who have no political affiliation or no political, I mean, you know, they're not leaning one way or the other. I mean, they keep saying, if you can't resolve the problem in your party, on what basis should we be confident that you will do the same? Now he's got into the coalition, and now he's been in there for a bit, and then he comes out again and says, oh, I'm with Labour, whilst he's having a discussion with the coalition. I mean, I wonder to what extent that announcement sullies his overarching objective, which is to become president of Nigeria. I mean, does it limit his chances of achieving that?
I wonder if it was on the reverse position where people saw him leaving the party and making every kind of derogatory statement about the party. That's one thing that is distinct about Peter Obi. You've never seen him calling names, accusing or abusing people. He only talks on issues. And that's the distinction between the politicians that you know of and me. I've been in politics since I was in secondary school. Yes, some people may challenge me, but I have been. And I've never seen a gentleman who give distinctly into a democratic setting like Peter Obi has been able to do. And that is the reason why, at the moment now, instead of you being all fighting, all dagger drones and all, he still maintained that he is a member of the Labour Party. And that is democratic.
And is
that is clear democracy. And at the same time, when he moves, if he's moving, and he has already made concerted effort in solving the problem, and he had never said that there was no problem. That's the decency.
No, but you know, the difference is not so much that he said that he's a member of the Labour Party.
Yes.
He said he's going to run
and
on the platform of the Labour Party. And I'm wondering if that announcement is endorsed by the various factions of the Labour Party, which are very divided. I mean, it's a very divided party at the moment.
And the question I will always want to ask you, or any other person, had any one of the factions that you mentioned said no to Peter Obi? Everybody wants him.
Well, I mean, I'm asking you because
I'm giving you a confirmed statement. Everybody wants him, and not because he's Peter Obi, because of the messages that he has. The messages resonate with the Nigerian people. And they want him not because of it, they want him because he has the capacity to change the dynamics of Nigeria.
Does Julius Abure say he wants him?
Has he denied that he doesn't want him?
No, I'm asking you.
He has never denied anything. I've never seen him anywhere.
I'm wondering whether he's... Do all those...
I have never seen any one of them saying they don't want...
Arabambi and all the rest of them.
I mean, do they all sort of... Even Arabambi that you mentioned said that Peter Obi is one of the best candidates. You can play your tips.
What about the wider obedient movement? Do they endorse him contesting on the platform of a very confusingly divided Labour Party, or possibly on the platform of another party? I mean, you're their national coordinator,
Yeah.
you must know.
Our people are interested in good governance, and they see Peter Obi as the leading light. And anywhere he goes, they follow him. And they are so determined in that regard. And so they give guides as regard to how they feel he should run, and he listened to them. So as we speak today, the obedient movement is solidly 110% behind Peter Obi.
No, I know they are behind him.
Yes.
But behind him in what regard?
Anywhere he decides to go.
So if he says that
Anywhere
he's
decides
going
to go.
to leave the party, the Labour
It's
Party...
a resolution that we made.
No, I'm asking you,
Yes.
if he says he's going to leave the Labour
Yes.
Party...
I said it's a resolution. Anywhere he said is going, the obedient movement would be with him.
Right, okay, as a bloc.
Yes.
Right, so if he says he's going to leave the Labour Party and go and contest maybe on the platform of the SDP or the ADC or some other new party, they will support him.
Charles, Peter Obi is the leader of the obedient movement.
Right.
And the obedient movement have made categorical statements. Anywhere our leader is going, we follow him 100%.
So if he plays second fiddle to Atiku Abubakar, for example, if he decides to become Atiku Abubakar's vice presidential candidate, they will follow him, will they?
At the moment now, there was no issue of Borabi being a second...
No, I'm asking you a question.
We want an outright presidency candidate.
So the expectation from the obedience is that he will be the presidential candidate.
Very much.
Whatever medium he decides to use as a platform.
They will go with him.
Right.
100%.
So, yeah, but what I'm saying is that they will do that only in the context of him saying, I will be the presidential candidate, or him emerging as the presidential candidate.
Charles, you've been investigative journalist.
No, I'm just asking.
I'm giving you a simple answer. I said anywhere. I didn't mix my word. I said anywhere he's going, the obedient people will follow him.
Yeah, but I'm trying to be very clear on what you're saying.
Yes.
They will follow him.
Yes.
As long as he is the presidential candidate. If he becomes a vice presidential candidate, will they still follow him?
He has not even talked about anything.
But I'm asking you a question.
He's very clear about his intention, and they are clear on their words. Yeah. They want him to be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And anywhere he wants to fly that particular flag, they will follow him 110%.
Right. And Mr. Obi has also said that 2027 might be his last attempt at running for president, suggesting that he might not be willing to pursue public office beyond the age of 65, which will be his age in 2027. How are the obedience reacting to that? I mean, is that statement written in stone, or is it malleable?
That is the kind of statement you will not hear from a contemporary politician who always is interested in power at any cost. And that makes him different. He thinks about the youth. At this particular point in time, we must be growing our young ones. And those are his strengths. And he's giving them hope that, yes, you are capable. And he's concerned about them. That when it's his time, some people should know when to quit, when it's time for them to quit. And give room for other persons. This is not said in any context of any politician, but we are saying that going forward, we needed younger ones to take over the position so that the system can be able to bring in younger generation. You saw him having a meeting at the coffee shop, and he was talking to young Nigerians. And in that particular meeting, there was this particular saying. He said, look, I don't want to be where I am always loved. I want to see where there are people who say no to what I do. And then at that point, I'm learning from them. That's a very unique statement coming from a politician. And then he said it, and he said, even as we are gathering here, I will have somebody who may not even like me, and I would like to say, and everybody shouted, Obina, Obina. And Obina, he went to Obina, Obina, let me hear your grievances. And he learned from him. Obina also learned from him too. And today, they are best of friends. This is how to groom young politicians. Okay. And that is distinct from any politician in Nigeria. Right. Every politician in Nigeria wants to see somebody who will be his crony. I can teach you, I tell you what to do, sit, I sit. But this is not that kind of a politician. Right. Okay. It's somebody who is interested in building a younger generation for a prosperous nation that can move on in the next future.
We're almost out of time. You've been attending those opposition coalition meetings. Has there been any kind of falling out within that proposed coalition?
Not at all.
They're all sort of holding hands, are they?
You know, look, there's a mutual relationship and understanding. The northern part, who has the largest number of votes in this country, had a meeting, and then they invited southerners who are presidential hopeful and candidate to come and ventilate and align with them. That is unity in diversity. And the people that they were invited did not reject this offer. They went there in unison. That is building a Nigeria of our future. And Peter Obi went there and spoke to the people, tell them about how northern part can be emancipated from the high level of poverty, increasing their educational level, correcting the issue of insecurity, building trust within them, and saying that ABC, look, do not despair, do not be afraid. All of us are Nigeria, and we will build a country that all of us will be proud of. That is the kind of energy that Peter will be exposed.
I have to say that he got a lot of cheers when he was doing that, because I saw it.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank you very much indeed, Yunusa. I know you had a meeting, but you took time off to come and talk to us, and we appreciate it. Dr. Yunusa Tanko is the...
Today, my message is to the National Peace Committee for this our 30 days countdown for electoral reform. For those of you who don't know National Peace Committee, now that committee where they organize National Peace Accord, where before election, they go gather all the top political presidential aspirants, made a signed document to agree, say they stand for peace, and whatever is the outcome of the election, they will accept it and congratulate the winner. The convener of National Peace Accord is my Lord Bishop, the Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Bishop Matthew Hassan Koka. The chairman is the former military head of state, General Abdul Salam Alhaji Abubakar. They get other members, including Mr. Femi Otedola, Aliko Dangote, Professor Ameze Gobadia, retired Commodore Ebitu Okiwe, Mr. John Momo, the owner of Channels TV, and many other people, including retired General Martin Luther Agwai, and many other Nigerians. Please, I beg you, our fathers, Mr. Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka, your lordship, sir. You are a man, you are a religious leader, and you have always used your position to stand for truth and justice and fairness. What exactly is the purpose of the National Peace Committee? Is it to help us to build an electoral process that is credible, to see that elections be free, fair, and credible and peaceful? Or it is to force political actors to come sign documents? At the end of the day, the party in power or some of the actors no go play by the rules. There go be brazen rigging of the election. We go see criminality for the election, but because everybody don't sign peace accord, we're supposed to keep quiet and allow that criminality to go on. Is it not also the job of the National Peace Committee to ensure that the process through which the election is conducted is seen and adjudged to be free, fair, credible, and peaceful? We know if he talks that the election of 2023 was free, fair, credible, and peaceful. Taking the words of one of the AU observing team who come to observe that election, they say what we came to do in Nigeria was not election monitoring. It was a crime watch. Your lordship, a crime watch. And now the thing, that is what we are holding people to come and sign a peace accord for. When we know in our hearts that some of those political actors will not play by the rules. Nobody, I am not an advocate of violence or crime or criminality. I pursue peace and I maintain peace in everything that I do. But my Lord, Mr. Chairman, there is no peace that can exist within justice. We must allow peace to reign through a just and fair process. Unless the peace we are looking for is the peace of the graveyard. How can we have peace with this level of injustice? Out of 93 million registered voters according to INEC, 89 million collected PVC, but less than 30 million came out to vote. Why are Nigerians not interested in the process? Rivers State 2015, Jonathan versus Buhari, Jonathan won with 1.4 million. 2019, Atiku versus Buhari, Atiku won with 473,000. 2023, Atiku versus Obi versus Tinubu, Obi won with less than 250,000. Are the voting block in Rivers shrinking with time or they are increasing? We must check the integrity of the process. I beg you, your Lordship, Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka, let your good office also stand up to join the call for electoral reform to fix INEC. We cannot have true and lasting peace with injustice side by side. Unless there is justice, that is the premises for peace that will be accepted by everybody. If not, we are just postponing the evil day and covering up the sins that have been committed gravely against the Nigerian state and the Nigerian people. I thank you, my fathers. We hope that your voices and this our message will get to you clear. May God bless Nigeria. My name is Peter for Nigeria. Okay, Nigerians.
4,794 property in Abuja supposed to have been taken over by the FCTA due to unpaid ground rent, and that notice had gone out by the FCTA, which says that they will commence a physical take.
In the north, and maintained, and still maintained, the insecurity in Nigeria, especially in the north, rests on poverty. The rest of all that have been mentioned and everything, I've been in the financial industry for years, and I can tell everybody this, if you have more than 25 years in this country, I was in the financial industry. When you look for cash, you go to Kano. When you look for cash, Kano was number one place for cash. Because then we had all the factories in Mumbai, in Shadamba, in Shaganti. Go to Kano today, those industries are not there.
Obedient.
Go to Kaduna, there's no industry. There's an industry again in Kaduna. We used to put Kaduna train fare 2 years for it to get a space. Today nobody goes there. We used to go to Maiduguri for cash. Today nobody goes there. That is the poverty. And when you have poverty, you have criminality that you cannot control. Because when people don't know where the next thing will come from, you can never control your action. And there is the truth. But in all these, it all rests squarely on government to solve. And I've always said the North can change Nigeria. The greatest assets of this country is in the North. We can make more money. I say that every year, we can make more money for oil, for farm, agriculture than we make for oil. And I'm starting to prove in everything. This entire country produces less than 6 million tons of rice. That is less than 10% of what Bangladesh produces. Bangladesh is a country that lives on 148,600 square kilometers of land. That is the size of 2 northern states. Niger at 76.3 and Borno at 70.8 is equal to Bangladesh. And Bangladesh has a population of 170 million. So if you divide their 146 by this thing, it's less than about 800 square meters, where these two states have over 13,000 square meters. It's a huge land. Niger State has the most arable land in this country, cannot feed itself. It's 76,300 square kilometers. They are not exporting anything. Netherlands, with 33,000 square kilometers. So Niger State is 2.5 times the size of Netherlands. Yet, they exported 124 billion euros, about over $130 billion of agricultural export. That is exactly 2.5 times what we get from oil. One state. So the solution is in the north. Look at a state like Taraba. Taraba can produce all the tea and coffee we need at the parts of Mabila. Taraba is 54.4 thousand square kilometers. Sierra Leone, that is making all their money from tea today, is 65,000 square kilometers. If you divide it by the population, Taraba is 3 times, if not more than that, of that size. And they make $1.5 to $2 billion from tea. And all these days, I drive around the north and I feel pain. This year I've been to Kafanchan, to Kaduna, to Katsina, to Jigawa, all this around my road. And you see loads of uncultivated land.
I swear they used to have like a line in the middle where you can break them in half. I don't.
On both sides. And you see the difference. We can change the north. Agricultural land that is in the north is dead. Why do we have to do root projects where we are doing a road for 15 trillion? Why don't we use 1.2? If you put 1.5 trillion on insecurity in the north today, we start dealing with it. We can capitalize that back to 1 trillion. And if you put another 1.3 trillion in poverty alleviation, one of the governors in the north told me he wanted to do small poverty alleviation, and he went to Bank of the North, Bank of Industry, and get the 2 billion, and over 2 years, they cannot even put their own counterpart fund. We can solve it. The more you do people out of poverty, the more you solve insecurity. I've been to prisons, I've been to places to see what is happening. We need to change it. It is very easy. We need to invest in education. We can't talk about free universal education when people are not going to school and children are not in school. I have taken time to go to the north, sat down with their imaginary children. They are the most brilliant people God created. Because I could see children in 9 years and 10 years memorizing Quran. If they can't go to school, we take school to them. Where they are learning Quran, they can learn English, they can learn mathematics, they can learn it. It's very easy. And we are doing it in Kaduna and it's working. I went to one in Kaduna, I visited there with my brother that when they provided them and paying their teachers now, provided them toilets, provided them everything. If you see the kids, they are changing. Let's invest in them. That's our assets. That's the assets we need. That's the doctors we need. We have a great country that can be changed if our leaders can change the human, invest in humanity. It is very easy, it's not a difficult thing. And all I agree with all of us, like give us because it's for us to build trust. I know we have issues here and there and everything. This is the time for us to build trust among ourselves, believe that we are one, and we can save this country. Public and survived by population. This is not going to remove our division. We have all tried, we voted religion. Let's vote competence. It is time to go. Let's vote capacity and competence and everything. Let's make this work. It can work. There's people who, let's hold our leaders responsible. This time we play is about 600,000 square kilometers. The entire north is about 20% more than Ukraine. And they are the one that do not Ukraine to support us in the market. And people accepted Ukraine. When the entire north does not Ukraine, we cannot continue that. It is unfair to us. Like I said before, Bangladesh produces about 50 to 60 million tons of rice. Nigeria cannot produce 10% of that. The entire Nigeria is 6 times the size of Bangladesh. They are 148, we are 900. You can go on and on. Small scale aviation that came out of war can feed itself at the sports food. what Vietnam is. And today Vietnam does 10 times our export. My dear people, our problem can be solved from the north. When we focus and invest in the north, what the north requires is investment, support, policies that can drive it, and it is doable. And this is something you can see changing as we start. Thank you.
All right, guys, greetings to everyone that was able to join. I have a question, so if anybody you guys can leave your responses in the comment section of this video. I'm going to be wrapping this up. So I've been thinking about this Nigerian election and all of that, right? And I'm saying to myself, without the electoral reforms that this guy is pushing, Peter for Better Nigeria is pushing, without those reforms in place, do you think that we can have a decent election? Because everybody's talking about coalition this, coalition that, but I don't see as many people pushing these electoral reforms as much as they should. Now, there's an electoral rally day coming up, and it's going to be at the National Assembly in Abuja. Okay, it's on the 28th, which is tomorrow. It's at 9 a.m. Nigerian time, of course. I'm hoping that a lot of people show up, because the truth is, with the coalition or no coalition, without the electoral reforms, I'll just add judicial reforms, I think we're just playing games. I think we're just playing games. We need to lay the proper foundation in order for us to be able to achieve what we need to achieve. This guy has done so much work pushing this electoral reforms all by himself. He's been doing it consistently. I mean, of course, people have been retweeting and tweeting and talking about it as well. And I'm very glad that he calls out people. He calls people. He's talking to the leaders. He's telling them to get behind these electoral reforms and all of that. I'm happy about the way and the process that he's pushing it, the way he's pushing it, and consistently in your face. That is the way to go in Nigeria. So again, I'm going to ask, please let me know in the comment section, without the electoral reforms, without judicial reforms, how are we so sure about elections in 2027? You guys all see how everybody's decamping to one party. They've turned Nigeria into a one-party system. And if we don't do anything about it, it's going to get worse. So let's not sleep on this. Use your social media platforms to push this electoral reform. It's been in social media. People have been talking about it. Use your own social media platform to push it, because if not, there's nothing. I don't know. I don't see how effective the elections will be in 2027. You need something that's going to give the people hope, that's going to encourage the people to come out. Without that, I don't know. Now, let me quickly respond to somebody's comment. Ademola Owoduni, welcome to everyone. You said divide Nigeria before Nigeria divide us. Okay, why don't you lead that cause? It's easy to drop comments. What are you doing about it? Is one person able to divide Nigeria? One person is not able to divide Nigeria. So you do your part, play your own role. If that's the angle you want to push it and let us know. Defend your argument, defend what it is that you're trying to push. And perhaps you have people get on your side. So you can't just drop you are Nigerian from your name. You can't just come, drop comment and run away. What are you doing about it? That is the question, because all hands on deck on this matter. For us, even if you're going to say divide Nigeria, how are you going to divide it? Who is going to divide it for you? Is it the leaders that you currently have that don't care about you, that are going to listen to you while you're talking divide? The grand patron of, oh, I don't believe in one Nigeria, is now the president. Come to find out, the guy was probably jealous of the military rule and all of that, of all the power these people had. Now he has the opportunity. He's not doing anything. How about sending him a message, letting him know, reminding him, right? So, 'cause right now he's there and he's milking every corner of Nigeria dry and putting his people there. Okay, do you hear him talk about divide Nigeria anymore? No, he's enjoying all the benefits, all the resources, all the money from every corner, and gifting his people, his supporters and loyalists. So what are we talking about? So it's not about dropping comments, divide Nigeria before divide. You do your own. Do your own. Okay? Go and talk to the grand patron and hear what he says. If you can get access to the grand patron of I don't believe in one Nigeria that has now turned to the entity that has now is milking Nigeria dry, and then we will talk. Until then, I beg, it's not about comment too. Everybody, all hands on deck to make sure we get the Nigeria that we want. Before you can divide Nigeria, you need to have somebody who is reasonable, that you can even listen, that you can talk to and will listen. And you guys keep forgetting, Nigeria is not your own. Have they not told you that Nigeria is not your own? It's a business. It's a business arrangement. Your grand patron of I don't believe in one Nigeria is working for his masters now to milk you of your resources. What are you doing about it? That's the real question. But anyway, guys, I'll leave it here for now. Hey Michael, you just come. I know this. I wasn't sure I wasn't sure I was even going to come on today, but I say, no, make I come, make I just come drop my 2 cents. We are still pushing the electoral reforms, and I had a question, Michael. My question is, without electoral reforms and judicial reforms, how effective do you think that elections will be in Nigeria come 2027? It's all well and good. People are doing coalition meetings and all of that, right? But the real question is, what are you going to do about what are you going to do about the electoral reforms? Because if there's nothing on ground to give people faith to come out and vote and feel secure that, okay, my vote is going to count this time, right? And in the event that, okay, you feel hurt or you feel like your rights have been impeded upon, which courtroom you won't carry your case go? Is it the judges that have been bought over by Agbado? Is it the one that you people will be carrying matter to? So the electoral, for me or for my own mind, and you guys can let me know what you think in the comment section, is without electoral reform and judicial reform, Omo, I don't know. You understand? So we need to know we can work and chew gum at the same time. We can be pushing electoral reform as well as talking about the coalition. We can do all at the same time. But we need to get serious. Without the proper foundation, how do we get there? Because you and I know that you are being run by bandits, by demonic entities right now that are working for their masters. So in order for us, if we don't put the necessary pressure to get what we want from these people, we're not going to get jack. They're just going to keep doing what they want to do. You understand? And there's nothing anybody can do about it. Nigeria, their typical attitude of, like, oh, nobody's doing anything. And then, I've heard people come out and say, and I've read comments where people are saying, oh, Nigerians, instead of coming together with this what's it called, trying to do coalition, people should be on the street. I keep hearing that people should be on the street. People should be on the street. Well, what are you doing? Why aren't you leading the street people if that's the case? Because the work is not for one person. Why aren't you on the street pushing and saying, okay, let's go on the street, let's fall out? If you're not on the street, how do you get people to get on the street? It's easy to talk and say, oh, we should shut it down. I have said it a number of times, like, let's shut it down. But only you cannot shut it down. You need the critical number of people to come out, right? Now, If you're interested in that, how about, okay, let's support what Patutomi is doing. Are you putting your support behind Patutomi if that's where you are? If you're saying, oh, Patutomi has come out and has said he's going to bring out 7.2 million people on the street. So the question is, since that's how you feel about it, like, okay, let's shut the system down. Why don't you go and support Patutomi on his own course? And Ibrahim, right? Mr. Ibrahim, go and support them. It's not to come on social media and be talking and making noise. You understand? Everybody, all hands on deck. Whichever fight you want to fight, choose the fight, choose the angle, and focus on that. You understand? So, you're not fit a criticize person when they do the work. You cannot be criticizing people that are actually putting in the work and the energy. You cannot do that. Okay, if your thing is not talking about coalition, you're not interested in it, do not knock people who are talking about it. If your fight is not shutting down the street, then don't knock people who are doing it. If your fight is different and your own is electoral reform, judicial reform, stick to that. Don't knock those that are doing other things. This is what I don't understand. You guys, I hear people, and when I say you guys, I'm not referring to you here, but this is something I've observed on social media spaces. People are thinking you cannot force people to accept your own way of doing things. We're all different people. Okay, the way you see it will be different from the way somebody else sees it. We got to respect everybody's struggle. So I mean, for me, I just feel like the electoral reforms very important. We need to pay attention to it. There is a rally that's taking place in Abuja tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. I shared the post on my YouTube page. If you want to get more details, go and check it out. So I'm going to leave it here for now. I might come out later on in the day so we can have proper conversations about it. As long as these guys are still in power, they are not reforming anything and will do anything within their power to hold on to that. Okay, so you think that the electoral reform is just going to go like that? All right, we'll go see now. No wahala. All right, guys, I'll see you guys on my next one. Thank you very much, Michael. I appreciate you all for joining, and talk to you soon. Bye. Enjoy your week.